Bautista takes on the Rays next. Welcome to Toronto, where the roof at Rogers Centre is being pushed back to reveal a spectacular blue sky and the CN Tower. Tampa Bay and the Blue Jays will hook up in Game 2 of this three-game series. Hello, everybody. I'm Buck Martinez, along with Pat Tabler. And Pat, all year long, we have recognized the home run ability of Jose Bautista. But besides the numbers, there's a lot more to Bautista than just the long ball.
He's an all-round player in my book, the way that he really leads this ball club. We know about the home runs and the great arm in the outfield. It's when he hits the home runs. This one against James Shield last night gets the Blue Jays a little bit closer. Throw in some great defense at third base for Bautista. And then this one, how about when he calls timeout the first pitch? Now he stays in the moment, doesn't let that affect him. Next pitch, boom, number 46, a home run. 46 home runs, 110 RBIs. He's closing in on 100 base on balls this year. He's also closing in on 100 runs scored. Jose Bautista is doing a little bit of everything this year for the Blue Jays.
He certainly put together an MVP caliber season. Last night's game, Tampa Bay won the game 9-8, but there was an awful lot of things going on. Joe Madden was busy alongside Dave Martinez, his bench coach. And for more on that, let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Joe, you look at last week, 6 pitches in an inning. You get one lefty to have to deal with, 7th, 8th innings. Last night, you're maneuvering all over the place. How much do you lean on Dave Martinez to help you out in those situations?
Well, Davey's really good. Davey's always one step ahead of me sometimes, and we've gotten to the point where it works. It's almost like a little bit of a dance between he and I. Like last night, for instance, it was getting late, and I can't remember the exact situation, but I wanted Jennings ready to run. And so I looked down there. He's walking back from talking to Jennings. So it was perfect. That happens often with us. He's even to the point now where he's getting more involved talking about the pitching. But Davey's wonderful, and truly he's a perfect bench coach in a sense, because a lot of times you'll watch bench coaches with managers and they don't get really involved. But Davey gets really involved with me, and it helps me out a ton.
If you look at going back to last night and you go back to the season series between the Blue Jays and the Rays, I mean, is this the epitome of what's happening in the division now, where games are so much tighter and the rivalries have extended beyond what happens against New York and Boston?
Yep. It's getting really good. It's getting even more fun, isn't it? The Blue Jays have played really well this year. They're a very, very good ball club. Look what Baltimore's doing right now. Of course, Boston's going to be way back near the top again next year, too. They're going to do some things this offseason, I'm sure. And, of course, the Yankees. So, listen, if you really want to play some good, fun baseball, come to the American League East.
Joe, thanks for your time.
Always my pleasure. Thanks.
Ricky Romero, after Blue Jays lost this season, has a 6-3 record. He's also shut down the Tampa Bay Rays in his career. 2-1 in 4 starts for Romero against Tampa Bay. He'll try to cool off the hard-charging Rays when we come back.
on Rogers Sports Stand. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Beautiful Saturday afternoon at Rogers Center. Fans are being entertained, and inside the Rays will take on the Blue Jays. Ricky Romero goes to the mound tonight, and he has had a good run against Tampa Bay. His 4 career starts, he has a 2-1 record against Joe Maddon's ball club. Take a look at the Tampa Bay Rays lineup today. The top 4 hitters in the lineup last night combined for 7 of the 8 hits the Rays were able to muster. B.J. Upton's had a good streak going over his last 5 games, 8 for 18 with 4 home runs. He's quieted down his stroke, and right now, Pat, he looks like a very dangerous hitter.
He's always had great hands and great bat speed, and if he can get that timing down, he uses that front foot leg kick, lifts up that left foot. When he gets that timing down, he's very dangerous. They have put him in the top of the lineup against left-handed pitching, trying to surround Carl Crawford, who's been moved down to number 3, trying to surround him with some base stealers, guys who can get on base so Crawford can drive in some runs. This is a very dangerous lineup for me that is really starting to round into form. Ricky Romero will take the mound. He is looking to win 3 straight starts for the first time this season. 12-8 record, a .351 earned run average. He leads the club in innings pitched with 187. He's got 3 complete games. This will be his 29th start of the season. Romero, his last time out, gave up just 1 run to a very good hitting Texas Rangers team. That was 7 innings of a 7-2 victory Monday night against the Rangers. If he can win this afternoon, Ricky Romero will match his total as a rookie in wins, which he set last season.
Ricky's also taken it a step further as far as being a stopper on his team. After Blue Jays lost, he has a very impressive 6-3 record. And he's really shut down the opponents, just hitting over 200 against Ricky Romero as the Blue Jays try to bounce back from a loss.
He's been watching Sean Markham. Sean Markham's been doing that same thing all season long. That's a very good record at 6-3 in ERA, which is very good. Against Tampa Bay this season, a very good Tampa Bay team. He's 1-0 with an ERA of 3.77. That's 2 starts versus Tampa this season.
Take a look at the defense behind Romero. Proved costly in last night's game. An unearned run in the 9th inning, the difference in the ball game. Snyder, Wells, and Fred Lewis in the outfield. Left side, Jose Bautista, Junel Escobar. Aaron Hill, Lyle Overbay on the right side. And day game after night game, Jose Molina will handle Ricky Romero.
The last couple of days, we've also been watching Jose Bautista at third base, and what an athletic player that he has become. Third base, he made a play against Evan Longoria last night where he dove to his left, saved a base hit, and he has been doing that ever since he's been moved in to take over for Edwin Encarnacion.
So we're set for play here as Ricky Romero has finished his warm-ups and B.J. Upton is ready to step into the box. Beautiful Saturday afternoon in Toronto. Upton pops the bunt up. Molina right there at home plate makes an easy out.
Let's look at the scouting report for today's starter for the Toronto Blue Jays, Ricky Romero. Today's scouting report is brought to you by TD Bank. Banking can be this comfortable. He's got a very smooth delivery. It's effortless. He needs to stay back. Excellent secondary. Now, I'm not talking about the Bengals secondary here. His secondary pitches are very good. His curveball and his changeup. And he holds runners very well. 3 stolen bases against Romero all season long.
One quick out for Ricky Romero. Jason Bartlett, the shortstop, looks at a strike. Bartlett 1 for 4 in last night's game, 8 for 24 in September. Joe Maddon's Rays got off to a 6-0 lead in the top of the first in last night's game. There's a good curveball for a strike. The ball in 2 strikes.
There's the secondary pitch that we were talking about. Brett Cecil was talking about the start last night. He just could not command anything, can't keep anything down, and the Rays really made him pay for it.
Comes right back with a breaking pitch and strikes out Jason Bartlett. Bartlett asking the umpire if he fouled it off. Eric Cooper said, nope, it's a strikeout.
Ricky Romero has got a very good curveball. That is on display right there as he gets Jason Bartlett. He also has a very good changeup. When he uses those two pitches with his fastball, he can beat anybody.
Carl Crawford, number 3 hitter. Swings at the first pitch and pops it into foul territory. Bautista makes the catch. Just 6 pitches for Ricky Romero. Jose Bautista will bat in the bottom of the first inning. 2 home runs in last night's game. Number 45 against James Shields. 46 came against Joaquin Benoit. To 8 on an unearned run in the 9th inning. Here's the lineup. Escobar batting second, Bautista third. 7 multi-home run games this season. He had 2 more home runs in last night's game. He is 1 shy of the franchise record of 47 hit by George Bell in 1987.
That is the lineup the 24-year-old rookie right-hander Wade Davis will face as he makes his 25th start of the season, 31st of his career. Will be his 4th start since he came back off the disabled list. He had some shoulder problems. 2-0 in 3 starts since coming off the DL.
First pitch strike to Fred Lewis.
Davis is really hot now also. 6-game win streak. He hasn't lost since July the 3rd.
2 fastballs. This is the same kind of start we saw from Davis the last time the Blue Jays faced him on the 30th of August. Used that fastball an awful lot early in the ballgame.
Didn't pick up a lot of strikeouts, just 3. But he really established the fastball early in that game. Pitched into the 8th inning that day. There are his numbers against the Blue Jays in 2 starts.
He left with a 5-2 lead in the 8th inning. A ball and 2 strikes to Fred Lewis. Hopped out of play. Lewis back in the starting lineup. He'd been bothered by a hyperextended right elbow and kept him from swinging the bat. Breaking ball sliced down the left field line, but foul. Lewis did not play in last night's game. He started on Thursday against the Rangers. Started in right field, as he's doing today. A ball and 2 strikes. Putting up a battle.
He can handle that fastball away. When teams start really pounding him on the inner half, we saw the Yankees do that. The Boston Red Sox have done that to Fred Lewis this year. That's where he's got to just turn on one of those things and get him out there. Maybe they'll go back outside then.
Got him. Came with the fastball upstairs, and Lewis strikes out.
Pretty impressive arm for today's starter, the Tampa Bay Rays, Wade Davis. The scouting report, plenty of steam. Fastball, young as fastball can reach at 97 miles an hour. He's a pure power pitcher. I like his tight power curve that he can use for strikeouts also, and he's improving his cutter. Starting to get a couple more pitches with everything else that he has, and Wade Davis is young and got a very bright future ahead of him.
Junel Escobar looks at the first pitch fastball. Escobar had a couple of hits in last night's game. He reached base 3 times. 285 since joining the Blue Jays. Sharply hit into left field, past the diving Bartlett.
Third baseman, number 19, Jose Bautista.
Major League leader in home runs with 46. 22 home runs and 50 RBI against the American League East. Swinging a drive to left field. Crawford's got some room. He's backpedaling just in front of the warning track. Bautista may have hit that off the end of the bat.
Just a little bit too quick. That was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Davis. Again, he's going to try and establish that fastball early. They're going to try and jam him. It's over the middle of the plate, and he gets it just off the end of the bat by a hair. Still sends it to the warning track in left field.
Vernon Wells with 2 down. Escobar's at first. I haven't seen Junel run much since he's joined the Blue Jays. Just 1 steal and 1 attempt.
He has the ability to steal bases if you want him to, but I think when you are batting and you're on base ahead of Bautista and Wells, you know Cito Gaston doesn't want him running into any outs. He can score from first base just as easily with those 2 guys hitting.
Outside with the fastball. Wells a very aggressive first pitch swinger, and teams have constantly tried to get him to chase. They're not going to throw anything right down the middle or challenge him early in the count.
They don't challenge him on the inner half either. Very quick on the inside part of the plate. They try to pitch him away. Vernon Wells has done a good job of staying on the ball, especially on this homestand, and driving in runs by going to right field, taking what the pitcher gives you.
Had an RBI to right field in last night's game in the first inning. Wells with the count in his favor. 2 balls and no strikes. Popped into right field. Second baseman Sean Rodriguez into foul territory to make the catch, and the Blue Jays go quietly in the first. They strand a runner. They are scoreless after 1. A team leader, trying to encourage everybody to be focused and ready to play each time they step on the field. He's done a great job in the clubhouse.
Their lockers are right next to each other. Escobar and Bautista talking about Wade Davis. Hey, what did he throw you? What were you looking for? That kind of stuff. That is what a leader does.
Speaking of leaders, how about Evan Longoria, the cleanup hitter? One of the young superstars in baseball, hitting .294 for the season. He's hit .379 against the Blue Jays this year.
Before today's game, you know, it's not just with Escobar. Jose Bautista has taken the leadership role of this team, and he is infusing some enthusiasm on everybody before the ball game.
Yeah, this time of the year, obviously, Bautista, he's got a lot to play for every single day, but to encourage your teammates, September, sometimes it's tough to get through the grind of that 6th month of the season. Curveball, and Romero evens the count at 2-2. Ricky Romero trying to match his career high in wins with his 13th win here this afternoon.
He has had some dynamite games this year, Romero. I remember the game against the Rangers earlier this year, and the White Sox come to mind. He has pitched some of his best baseball against Tampa this season.
2 starts against Tampa. He has really pitched well. There are his career numbers against the Rays. 28 1/3, just 20 hits allowed. There's a ball that's going to get down in front of Wells for a base hit. Longoria has the Rays' first hit of the afternoon.
There's a category in baseball, players who can do everything. And I'm going to put Evan Longoria in that category. A guy who can field and throw and run, hit for power, a leader like you were talking. Troy Tulowitzki, I think, is that type of player also. You can go around the major leagues, and there's just a handful of them.
Yeah, it's a unique quality that as a young player, just 24 years old, that you can garner the respect Longoria has. The irony is that Tulowitzki and Longoria were teammates at Long Beach State in California. Zobrist bunts through it, snap throw to first, and Longoria is back. Don't be surprised by Zobrist showing bunt. Joe Madden will bunt anytime. We have seen Zobrist in the 3rd spot bunt in the 1st inning.
He'll do anything at any time. If he feels it's going to give his team an advantage, they use the squeeze more than anybody, do it better than anybody in baseball. Zobrist is tied for the most bunt hits on this team.
Now he's in a hole 0-2. But Joe Madden is truly unpredictable. You don't know. They won't fall into any patterns. They won't lay back and look for a 3-run homer. He will force the offense. His 5th season as the Rays manager. 2 games under 500 for his career. Down and away.
The teams he took over, he really had to get the type of team that he wanted. He wanted to weed out the players that weren't ready to play every single day. He wanted to get his type of players. Remember, he came from the Angels organization. They stress fundamentals, they stress team, and they talk about speed. That's the type of team that he has built here in Tampa.
And it took him a while to weed out players that didn't want to jump on board. And certainly he has that now. And they're on the verge of going to the postseason for the 2nd time in 3 years. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Into right field. Fred Lewis coming on, makes the catch. Ball was dying quickly. Lewis used his good speed to close ground.
From a right-handed hitter, a ball that has hit the right field is going to be slicing towards the line. That's why it's always nice to have a right-handed throwing right fielder, and it works out nicely for Fred Lewis as he gives up his body to take away a hit from Ben Zobrist. That ball was twisting and slicing away from him.
Good speed in the outfield with Fred Lewis in right. Carlos Pena to face Ricky Romero. Romero's dominated Pena in their head-to-head battles. Rays first baseman just 1 for 9. Been quite a struggle for him over his last 18 games, hitting $121.
You know, he's in one of those hitter's funks that he will go through certain times during the season. But Carlos Pena brings so much more to the table to this team. On defense, he's a Gold Glove caliber type of defender. He is always encouraging his pitchers when they are on the mound, always going in there working with them. And 26 home runs is nothing to sneeze at also.
And you can tell by the way the league pitches to him. Even though he has a 200 batting average, everybody recognizes just how dangerous he is.
You make a mistake and it can very quickly be 2-0. Left-handers, right-hander, it doesn't matter. He can hit the ball out of any part of the ballpark.
2 balls and a strike, 1 out. Longoria at first. Fouled off. When you think of Pena, you think of damage, and he has done some damage against the Blue Jays this season. 5 home runs and 13 RBI, despite a 163 batting average.
That's what you want from the middle of your lineup. You want some production. It can come in different forms. It can come in home runs. It can come and hit him with runners in scoring position. Just get those runners in.
That's how you keep score in baseball. How many times you push runners across the plate, and Pena does a good job. Everybody wants to talk about on-base percentage and OPS. The bottom line is, how many runs can you produce?
Hey, that's great, on-base percentage. You got to have somebody be able to knock them in. They can't get around the bases by themselves.
He made a great point about Bautista closing in on 100 walks, 100 runs scored. He's already driven in 100. And to me, that's the consummate player. Guy gets on, guy scores runs, and a guy that drives in runs.
Great on-base percentage. You get a couple more guys like that, and now you've got an offense that can really do some damage.
2-2 to Pena. Breaking ball taken low. Full count. Again, this situation would suggest you wouldn't start Longoria at first, but as we told you, Joe Madden is unpredictable. Pena strikes out a ton.
Yeah, you're looking, staring at it, strike him out, throw him out. Longoria's got good speed. He does have 15 stolen bases.
Joe was looking at the tea leaves. 3-2. Longoria not running. Strike 3 called. Hit breaking ball. Romero strikes out Pena, his second strikeout of the afternoon.
Second one with a breaking ball. Watch this one sweep to the outside corner. Pena just cannot pull the trigger, and he knows that that one just clipped the outside corner. 2 strikeouts now for Ricky Romero.
Sean Rodriguez lays off the first fastball. This has been a problem for the Blue Jays. Rodriguez with a .372 average against the Jays, just .259 for the season. Ball on the strike.
And he doesn't mind hitting here at Rogers Center also. He's had some good games here against the Blue Jays. It's over 300 here at Rogers Center. Got good power the other way. Outfield's going to play him straight up.
Rodriguez is in his first full season in the big leagues. He's spent parts of 2 seasons with the Angels. 2008, he had 59 games in Los Angeles. 2009, before he was traded, 12. He was traded last August. Rodriguez always thinking about going to the opposite field, and he fouls that ball over the Rays dugout. He drives the ball with authority to the power alley in right center.
And he's got good power the other way. He has worn out lefties this year.
Strike 3 call. Romero pounds that fastball on the inside corner. Ricky strikes out 2 to end the inning. Gets Pena with the curveball. Gets Rodriguez with the heat.
New HD Quatron TV and Blu-ray player. Enter online at hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp Aquos with Quatron technology. You have to see it to see it.
Beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Rogers Center. Lyle Overbay swings at the first pitch and drives it to center field, but B.J. Upton cruising back has plenty of room. 1 out here in the second.
B.J. Upton is very smooth out of center field. He gets good jumps on the ball. He's got great speed. That time that ball looked like it was headed over his head, and he just cruised back, just like you said, made it look easy.
Aaron Hill, his average is up to 213. 23 home runs for Hill. A bit of a good run against Tampa Bay. His 5 home runs and 9 RBI. Rips it into left field. A base hit for Hill. Second hit off of Wade Davis so far this afternoon.
You're going to get a fastball from Wade Davis. He is trying to establish that all over the strike zone. Aaron Hill is a very good hitter when it comes to pulling the ball. His 9 hits the other way. That is his way to hit. Be aggressive.
Adam Lynn had a 2-run home run in the game last night. Way inside, he jumps out of the way. Lynn's hit 4 home runs against the Rays this season. Only Aaron Hill has homered more than Lynn. Lynn is tied with Bautista with 4 homers against the Rays. Changeup missed downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Dave Martinez is the bench coach. He stands right next to Madden throughout the game, and they talk strategy. They talk about whether or not they want to play pitch out, slide step. You can see Madden talking about it. Kelly Shopik looks in to check with Martinez on just exactly how they want to control the running game. You remember the day when the catchers and pitchers used to figure that out themselves?
Yeah, you can see what they're talking about. They're talking about how Wade Davis comes set. Does he set high? Does he set low? When he separates his hands, is he quicker one way or another? So batters don't try and steal on him.
3-0.
He has given up 10 stolen bases in 14 attempts this year.
Well, the one thing the Rays do, they really control the running game fairly well, given the fact they're so adept at doing it themselves. They lead the American League in steals, so they understand how you neutralize the running game. You vary the set times from the mound. A 4-pitch walk, a base hit, and a walk now with 1 out.
You know, there's just not a lot of teams in the American League that are built like the Tampa Bay Rays. A lot of times it's easy to manage against teams that just sit back and wait for you to pound the baseball. They don't sit back. They go ahead and make you play defense.
Baseball is a copycat sport, and Tampa Bay's had success with this type of team. Teams are going to copy what they're doing.
I agree. Trying to get a little bit more athletic.
Jose Molina. Big swing and a miss. Molina, his last start, had a little power, hit a home run against the Texas Rangers. Actually swung the bat well all night long on Wednesday. Just missed a home run in his first at bat, singled to left in his second, and hit a solo home run in his third at bat. Oh, 0-2.
That was a home run off of Darren O'Day, wasn't it? O'Day doesn't give up a lot of home runs. I think he had given up 1 the whole season until that last series. And the Blue Jays rattled his cage a little bit.
Molina hit 1 off O'Day. Bautista hit 1 off O'Day.
Vernon Wells got him too. Gave up 3 home runs in 4 games.
Molina's in a hole 0-2. Strike 3 called. Molina thought it was upstairs. Eric Cooper rings him up.
Davis has a good fastball. Comes right over the top. He can pitch at the top of the strike zone if need be. That ball is about belt high and it splits the plate. Yep, belt high, right over the middle. I think that fastball surprised Jose a little bit.
2 outs. Travis Snyder, the number 9 hitter. Another fastball for a strike. Over 300 for his last 13 games. Snyder is a little more consistent here in the final month of the season. Just off the plate outside. When you know a pitcher's going to throw you a lot of fastballs, is there an approach you can take that might help you hit it?
I think you have to see the ball first. If you know it's a fastball, think about being a little bit shorter with your swing. He's going to provide all the power. You start getting long and trying to hit it far, that's when your swing gets a little loopy and a little bit long, and that's when you get jammed. See it first. Trust your hands. Be short with your swing, and good things are going to happen.
Shopik and Davis couldn't get their heads together, so they'll chalk this pitch over. A 1-1 count to Snyder. George Brett always had a phrase that he reminded himself of when he was hitting at the plate. Don't try to hit it far, try to hit it hard. And that's a good approach, I would imagine, against a fastball.
You stay short that way. You don't try and hit it far. Again, if you try and do that, you try and, well, let's see if I can hit one 400. You get so long with your swing. I used to tell myself, right before I got back into that batter's box, okay, I want you to stay short, hit on top of the baseball. What does that do? That creates backspin and makes you really concentrate on top of the ball.
A ball and 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 outs. Got him. Wade Davis comes back and strikes out a pair after getting a couple on. Blue Jays strand 2 base runners. Were scoreless after 2. Yankees are in town. Will be the final home game of the season. The first 35,000 will receive a commemorative ticket honoring Cito Gaston's great career with the Blue Jays. For more information and tickets, you can log on to BlueJays.com. Stop by most Rogers Plus locations, or you can call the Blue Jays directly for tickets. 416-341-1234. September 29th. Thank you, Cito. Brad Hopp, the DH here this afternoon. Tampa Bay picked up Brad Hopp after the Rockies let him go. Kind of an interesting name to see on the waiver wire. A guy that was prominent in the Rockies World Series run a couple of years ago.
That's right, 2007. 29 home runs and 116 RBIs. Started all 4 games of the World Series for the Rockies. And now 3 years later, here he is after being released by Colorado.
31 years old now, and certainly a lot of baseball left. High fly ball into center field. Vernon Wells breaking it down, turning around, and on the warning track makes the catch. Let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Buck, as Hopp flies out, an interesting choice to be the DH against the left-hander Ricky Romero. Joe Madden said before the game that he feels Romero's a neutral pitcher, where the splits are pretty even between lefties and righties, but really felt that Ricky's style of pitching matched up better with Hopp, and that's why Hopp is the DH here today.
Good information. Ricky is an even split. Call him a neutral pitcher. He handles lefties and righties equally.
They're very similar. He actually holds right-handers to a 235 average. Left-handers 264, a little bit better.
Kelly Shopik, really a funk of late, just 2 for 25 with 12 strikeouts. Shopik got a bad break early in the season. He injured his knee, had to undergo knee surgery in a collision at home plate with Derek Jeter. He blocked home plate, tagged Jeter out, but hurt his knee that required surgery. I don't care who you are, where you're injured, at the point of the season, the interruption is difficult to overcome.
It's almost like starting all over, going to spring training and trying to get your timing back, get your wind back, get your legs underneath you.
We saw it in spades with Aaron Hill. Had a pretty good spring, got off to a decent start, pulled his hamstring in the first series against Texas, and has been playing catch-up ever since. 1-2 to Shopik. But it's interesting, too. It's kind of going on with Jeff Neiman a bit. Tampa Bay, big right-hander. Went on the disabled list the same time Wade Davis went on a deal. Neiman hasn't been able to bounce back. 6'9". A lot of timing involved with his delivery. Physically, he's throwing the ball okay. It's just a matter of location and quality of pitches. But that interruption of a routine, especially for a starting pitcher, is difficult to overcome.
Yeah, we have seen that a lot. We've talked about that a lot. Nothing with his miles per hour. It's the command. And that might take 1, 2, 3 starts. You get out there and get back into your solid routine.
2-2 changeup missed away.
Brett Cecil talked a little bit about that after last night's game, that he felt that his routine was messed up. He backed off a little bit, didn't throw in between starts to give his arm a little bit of a rest. Felt that he didn't have the velocity the time prior to last night's start, so he backed off and said it really messed him up.
Shopek hanging tough against Romero. Stays alive, fouling off that pitch. When you think about these young pitchers, Romero coming into this season, just his second full season, and actually last year he was injured start of the season, so he missed some time early on. But you're talking about 55, 56 starts under their belt. Good strikeout. Romero reached back for a little extra on that fastball. He punches out Kelly Shopek, number 4 for Romero.
Looked like he reached back, didn't he? Stayed right over that rubber. That is perfect. And now all of his momentum is going towards home, and he dots that outside corner with a good fastball. That is perfect mechanics right there for a pitcher.
Two outs, back to the top of the order. B.J. Upton popped up a bunt in his first at bat. There he's late on the fastball. Romero out in front, of ball and 2 strikes, and Upton needs a new bat. We had mentioned Ricky Romero 6-3 after a Blue Jays loss, and that's what he's dealing with this afternoon. Blue Jays lost 9-8 in last night's game. Really what you want from your young pitcher, not necessarily that they're trying harder, but they have the ability to focus and stay in their delivery and make quality pitches like we've seen early from Romero here today.
Block out what happened the day before. Pitch to win a ball game.
He's missed the inside corner, 2-2.
For me, it looks like Romero's got his A game today. Staying over that rubber. He's really working on a downhill plane with his pitches.
92 with the fastball there, and Upton is late. But you're right, body language tells you an awful lot about a pitcher. You can see it in his face, in his demeanor on the mound. He's in control. Got it. Came right back with the fastball. Romero's got the strikeout working early in this game. 2 more strikeouts here in the third. He goes upstairs with the heater to get to B.J. Upton. At Rogers Center, a lot of activities for the kids in and around the ballpark. Beautiful day. Fred Lewis takes the first pitch outside. Third inning of a scoreless game. Hopped up left side of the diamond. Carl Crawford coming in. Left fielder makes the catch. Carl Crawford, you talk about an attractive free agent. And going to the postseason, of course, something Tampa Bay plans on, will only showcase his skills even further.
You know, he's more than just a base stealer or an offensive threat. His fielding percentage is the best in the American League over the last few years for a left fielder.
Jornal Escobar, a fair ball down the right field line. Escobar around first, headed for second. Here's the throw to second base. Not in time. Escobar cut a hard ground ball down the right field line, and he hustled into second with the one-out double.
Tampa Bay plays the middle of the diamond, so there's a lot of room down each line. Inside out swing by Escobar as he pushes the ball by Pena between the first baseman and the first base bag. Now he's thinking two all the way. And it takes a great play by Ben Zobrist, the right fielder, to barehand that ball off the wall. This play was very close at second.
Escobar 4 for 6 so far in this series against Tampa Bay. Jose Bautista looks at the first fastball outside. Bautista just missed one in his first at bat. Hit a ball off the end of the bat and flied out the left. Big curveball. 2-0.
I think they have seen enough of the damage that Jose Bautista has done. I'd be surprised with first base open if they try to challenge him.
From the fastball. Greg Bautista had his mind made up on something on the outer half. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, alongside Madden and Martinez. He is the home run king. Slider missed off the plate. 3-1. It's interesting where they threw that first pitch strike, a fastball on the inner half, and it looked like it surprised Bautista. Decent numbers with runners in scoring position.
31 base on balls. He has been a patient hitter, picked up the RBIs when he can.
Big curveball, 3-1. You knew that was coming.
You know that first pitch strike that you were just talking about? It looked like Davis tried to sink the ball a little bit. I know it was 95 miles an hour, but it looked like he sunk it. His fastball is pretty straight when he comes over the top and he attacks you with it. That one had a little sink to it. Curveball, 3-1.
Hit hard, but right at the third baseman, and you can pretty much put it in the book when you hit it to Longoria. Bautista's retired, 5-3, 2 outs. Escobar with the double at second base. Vernon Wells fouled out to third. Scoreless game, bottom of the third inning. There's that sinking fastball, not quite as hard as the one we saw to Bautista. He'll make you try exceptional things.
The Rays' future is pretty bright with all these young pitchers that they have. Davis is just 24 years old. He's in his first season.
Vernon Wells hits it hard to left field. Crawford back on the track and makes the catch. Looked like Crawford got fooled a bit, but he's got great speed and was able to overcome a poor jump. Vernon Wells hit it on the line, and Crawford's got those great wheels to run it down. We are still scoreless after 3. The 190 up to date.
That would put him 6th in the American League right now, behind Justin Verlander, Zach Greinke, Jared Weaver, some big bosses in the American League.
It's not a surprising number given Romero threw 178 a year ago. Pretty natural progression of innings.
He was hurt last year, like you mentioned, and that might have been a good thing for Romero to keep his innings down as he works in a progression to get a little bit stronger, a little bit more each year.
Jason Bartlett and Romero falls behind 3-0.
To put it in perspective, Felix Hernandez today is at 219. He is the leader, followed by CC Sabathia. Big, strong pitchers that can put a lot of wear and tear on their arms. What's remarkable about Romero, he's not really a big guy. But he'll give you 6-7 innings every time he takes the mound.
He works hard. He's a very hard worker, very diligent in between starts, getting himself prepared for the next start. It's a grind.
Came out yesterday about 2:30 in the afternoon, and who was running sprints getting ready for his start on Saturday? But Rick Romero.
Carl Crawford 0 for 1 this afternoon. The walk to Bartlett, the first Romero has issued here this afternoon. All of a sudden, Romero's lost the strike zone.
Carl Crawford has taken off since Joe Madden put him in the number 3 spot in the batting order. One of the reasons why he moved him down, and Crawford always envisioned himself as a number 2 hitter, but he moved him down into number 3. He said Carl drives and runs with singles and doubles. That's what Madden was saying. He puts the ball in play. He's not a high strikeout guy. He wanted to surround him with some speed at the top of the lineup, so when he came up and he got those doubles and triples, he's driving in runs and helping his team win.
Generally, when you look at the profile of a number 3 hitter, he's characterized as being your best hitter. A guy that can do the most each time with a specific at bat, and that might be Crawford.
30 doubles, 11 triples. Stays open. Johnny Damon is out like this. He stays open like that and really forces his lower half to close up so he can stay on top of the ball. You see a lot of players hit like that. Open stance, but you've got to close it when you're getting ready to swing.
A lot of hitters feel like they can see the ball better from an open stance. Can turn their head and face the pitcher with both eyes squared up on the pitcher. Ouch. Romero let one get away. First two up here in the fourth are on board.
Just the 7th time this year that Romero has hit a batter, trying to jam a very good hitter in Carl Crawford. One got away from him. They want to go inside, and he uses his fastball. He just can't pull down and get it to where Molina wants it.
Really interesting here in the 4th inning how different Romero looks than in the previous 3 innings. We had commented on how in control he was early. He had 5 strikeouts in the first 3 innings, and now he's walked a batter and hit a batter, and he's got to deal with the cleanup hitter, Evan Longoria. These two have faced one another going all the way back to college. Romero for Cal State Fullerton, Longoria at Long Beach State. Great baseball rivals in Southern California. And Longoria remembers every at bat against him in college.
You get up for those number ones, don't you? You remember what they throw you? Romero a little bit different pitcher now than what he was in college. Same thing can be said about Longoria.
First and second, nobody out. Longoria is going to make Romero throw him a strike. Showed you Bautista's numbers at 269 with runners in scoring position. Longoria is right there at 270. Romero's in a jam.
Well, he's a prototypical third baseman that drives and runs, hits home runs, and plays great defense. About this production for third baseman since 2008. Longoria, David Wright, A-Rod, Mark Reynolds, Aramis Ramirez. I mean, those are the premium third basemen in all of baseball.
Evan Longoria has replaced A-Rod as the preeminent third baseman, both with the glove and at the plate.
I'll throw another one out there, too. Ryan Zimmerman from the Washington Nationals reminds me a lot of Evan Longoria.
Yeah, they play it the right way, and we were talking earlier. Longoria reminds me of George Brett with his enthusiasm, the energy, the joy in which he plays the game, and his understanding of the ultimate goal to win.
Intensity. How about the ease at which it looks like he plays the game?
Breaking ball, gloved by Molina. Longoria spoke of his childhood idol being Ken Griffey Jr. And he said, I know he's an outfielder, I'm an infielder, but I just loved the way he played. And then he got to realize his childhood dream when he met Griffey Jr. while playing with the White Sox. 2-2. Another breaking ball bounced in the dirt.
That ever happened to you?
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays.
Yeah. Never played against him, but got to meet him for sure.
Tongue tied when you meet your idol.
Jason Bartlett walked to start it. Carl Crawford was hit by a pitch. Evan Longoria with the full count, nobody out in a scoreless game here in the 4th. Cut on and missed. Romero comes all the way back to strike out Longoria.
His secondary stuff is excellent. We talked about that in the scouting report. He's got a good curveball. This time he's going to change up 3-2 to Longoria, geared for something hard, and he pulls the string on him. Ball dives down under the bat of Evan Longoria. Another strikeout for Ricky Romero. That's 6 of them now.
The changeup, invaluable to this entire Blue Jays rotation. Ben Zobrist, 1 out, first and second. Drilled into right field. That'll get past Lewis and go all the way to the wall. Bartlett's in to score. The ball bounces away from Lewis. The throw goes to second base, and Crawford scores easily. Fred Lewis came up throwing to second when the ball should have gone to the cutoff man down the right field line. They had a shot at Crawford.
Ball ripped into the corner on the first pitch, and a couple of things happen here. Bounces off the wall and gets away from Fred Lewis. You're right. If he throws it to the cutoff man, that's Aaron Hill. Maybe a shot at getting Crawford. Hill is out a little bit deeper. You want to get it to the cutoff tandem as quick as possible and let them decide what to do with the ball. Zobrist has been swinging a hot bat. Will cash in too with that one hit.
Carlos Pena fouls it off with the check swing. Well, Ricky Romero walked the leadoff batter and hit Carl Crawford, and they both come in to score.
I was watching Tom Foley, the third base coach for the Tampa Bay Rays, and he was waiting to see what the outfielder was going to do with that ball before he was going to decide if he was going to send Carl Crawford or not. And when the ball went behind, the ball ripped into the gap. Now the tandem is going to be Lyle Overbay and Aaron Hill. Overbay is telling Hill where to throw the ball. And you can see that Crawford still hadn't gotten to third, but Foley realizes when the ball goes into second base, he can score his fast runner.
As soon as he sees that ball headed to second, he's waving Crawford home. Pena in a hole, 0-2. Breaking ball down and away.
He has got the best seat in the house. You know that run's going to score. Easily Bartlett from second base on extra bases. And right behind him, Carl Crawford.
And you know you're in pretty good shape when you've got Carl Crawford running from first. Maybe the best base runner in baseball. And he's going to give you 100%. So when he's headed for third, you know he's got a full head of steam coming into third. And then you watch the throw go to second. Wave him on home.
A lot of guys will just assume we're going to go first to third on that extra base hit. I'm going to be stopped. They start slowing up as they get to third base. You got to give them 100% all the time.
And that's the mindset you have when you play on a good ball club. Crawford's running from first thinking, I got to score for Zobrist. I've got to score this run for Zobrist in my team, so he never assumes he's going first to third.
And you know who appreciates that the most? The guy who hit the ball. And that's two more ribbies for Ben Zobrist.
Pena checks his swing. The appeal down at third. Chad Fairchild said no swing. Tampa Bay has taken the lead. Again, manufacturing runs. A leadoff walk, a hit by pitch. After the strikeout of Longoria, Zobrist drives in two. We mentioned how important Ben Zobrist is in the open. I mean, even though he's had an off year offensively, he's starting to come up with some key hits.
Starting to drive in some big runs for the Tampa Bay Rays.
3-2 to Pena. Another walk, and there goes Zobrist to third. Boy, he saw that ball headed for the dirt, and he broke immediately. Didn't wait to see where it was going to bounce.
When you're on second base, you got the best look right into home plate. Curveball, you read it, the flight of the ball, and as soon as that ball hit the dirt, he was running. That's fundamental baseball. You don't have to have great speed to be able to move up on a ball like that. You have to have good baseball instincts.
Well, first and foremost, you know Ricky Romero throws a lot of changeups, throws a lot of breaking balls. If he bounces that breaking ball, you got a chance to advance, and certainly with Zobrist anticipating the ball in the dirt, he moved to third easily. Sean Rodriguez struck out his first time up.
You know, and you might be sitting at home and say, well, what's the big deal that he moved up, 90 feet? Well, a fly ball now, and his teammate gets a sac fly. Doesn't take a base hit to score. Just hit a long fly ball to the outfield, and Rodriguez will pick up an RBI.
You put pressure on the infield on a ground ball. If you don't turn to, another run's going to score. They're showing safety squeeze. They do that as well as anybody. A safety squeeze is one in which the runner from third is not going to run home until the ball's safely on the ground. And they'll do this a lot first and third with one out.
especially against a left-handed pitcher like Romero is, because his back is turned to the runner at third base, so he can get way off there. And as the batter, all he wants to do is just bunt the ball to the right side. The lefty's falling off the mound. First baseman has to hold the runner.
Showing it again. You can see Overbay breaking hard down from first base. Madden believes that you can execute this even with the team aware that you're going to bunt if you bunt it past the pitcher to the second baseman.
And the Blue Jays are aware. First time they faced Tampa this year, they had the infielders out here working on that same play.
Three and one.
How to defense the safety squeeze. A little bit different than the suicide squeeze. That's when the runner takes off as soon as the pitcher lets go of the ball to the plate.
Another walk. 3 walks in the inning and a hit batter. How quickly things have turned around here for Ricky Romero. Had 5 strikeouts through the first 3 innings and no walks. And then in this inning, 3 walks, a hit batter, and 2 runs in.
He's all over the plate, too. I mean, they're just off the plate or just on the corner, and he's just not getting those calls. That last pitch to Rodriguez was a tough one to take.
Short and sweet message from the pitching coach. Bases are loaded, 1 out. 2 runs in. We're in the 4th inning.
Do you know who leads the major leagues? What team leads the major leagues in base on balls this year?
Taking the base on balls?
Tampa. You wouldn't think that. You would think New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox. But this team gets their share of base on balls.
Brad Hopp. Here's where Madden's decision is really brought into focus to start the left-hander Hopp as the DH against the left-hander Romero.
We saw Rocco Baldelli yesterday as the designated hitter against the left-hander Brett Cecil.
Bounces it foul.
Baldelli came up with a double and an RBI.
Hopp was an all-star in 2009, and he has slipped dramatically. But here he comes up with a big fly ball to right field. Fred Lewis is back. Grand slam home run, Brad Hopp.
The Zen Master pulling the strings for the Tampa Bay Rays. Seventh grand slam of the season for Tampa. Welcome to the Rays, Brad Hopp.
Joe Madden thinking outside the box. Brad Hopp probably surprised when he saw his name in the lineup.
Got all over that fastball, and really there was no doubt about that one to right center field.
3rd career grand slam for Brad Hopp. A 6-run inning for Tampa Bay.
The reaction from Ricky Romero is going to try to go up and away, and he knows he doesn't even want to look. He knows that that ball is going to leave the yard.
And this inning came out of nowhere. And it started with a leadoff walk to the number 2 hitter, Jason Bartlett.
Then a hit pitch, double, couple more walks, and then the grand slam. He was looking effortless the first 3 innings. He was dotting the eye with his fastball. Had given up just 1 hit coming into this inning.
Tampa Bay bats are certainly heating up. They had a 6-run first inning in last night's game. 6 runs on 5 hits. Kelly Shopping gets hit by a pitch. Second hit batter this inning. So the Rays will bat around here in the 4th. 34 pitches this inning, 21 balls. No one could have anticipated this inning after the first 3 innings of Ricky Romero's start. David Percy, the left-hander, loosening up in the bullpen. Right on the corner. A ball and 2 strikes. Romero got off to a great start. Had a 1-2-3 first inning, just 6 pitches. A little bit of a hiccup in the second, settled down in the third, but the wheels have come off here in the 4th. Upton chases the off-speed pitch. He goes down, second out of the inning.
Struck him out to end the last inning. Got him here. That inning where he gave up 22 pitches, all he had was a base hit. That was it. That was a leadoff single by Longoria in the second inning. I think the reason that the pitch number went up, it took him a lot of pitches to strike out Pena and Rodriguez to end the inning. But that was it.
Jason Bartlett batting for a second time this inning. Drives it to the gap in left center. Vernon Wells runs underneath it, and the inning has come to an end. But for a second time in this series, Tampa Bay has had a 6-run inning. They have taken the lead 6-0, middle of the 4th.
Not 3. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca.
Ricky Romero, 40 pitches in the 4th inning. He allowed just 2 hits in that inning. But the walks and 2 hit batters combined to allow Tampa Bay to score 6.
We talked about that at the beginning of the series, that the Rays have that ability to score a lot of runs with few hits. 6 runs, just 2 base hits that inning.
They won the game in the 9th inning last night on 2 walks and an error. Didn't have a hit in the 9th. While Overbay will try to start the comeback. Blue Jays dug themselves out of an early hole last night. They trailed 6-0 after the first. Two and two. In last night's game, Tampa Bay scored 6 in the top of the first. Jays answered with a run, bottom of the first, and then Tampa Bay added a 7th run. It was 7-1 after 2. But from that point on, Blue Jays battled back and tied it with 3 runs in the 7th at 8-all.
Home run by Lynn, got a couple. A home run by Jose Bautista, 2 more. Bautista eventually would tie it up with a home run off of Benoit in the 7th inning. Entertainment. It was an entertaining game.
Long drive to center field. Lyle Overbay has started the comeback. Number 19 for Overbay. The Blue Jays are on the board.
That's how it started in last night's game. John Buck hit a home run. That got the crowd back into it. Got his teammates fired up. They would add 3 more. Lyle Overbay is going to start this one this afternoon by touching up Wade Davis. Davis has been known to give up some home runs. This is the 23rd time that someone has touched him up. No doubt about it, the dead center.
What a powerful swing that was with a 3-2 pitch. Aaron Hill pops it up. Foul territory. Longoria coming down from third. 1 out. Overbay has created a buzz here at Rogers Center. A long home run to center. His 19th homer of the season. Blue Jays have homered in 13 straight games.
We were talking with Joe Madden before today's ball game, and we were mentioning the ability of the Blue Jays to hit home runs. He says he's amazed that when they get their pitch, they don't miss it. They have hit it and hit it hard their whole season long against his pitching staff.
He's got that scouting sheet in his pocket. And how many guys they have on their team over there? They all hit home runs. 223 home runs now for the Blue Jays. And Joe Madden talked about the improvement of the entire division with Baltimore playing better second half. Then goes after the breaking ball and strikes out. Let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Thanks to Lyle Overbay's 19th home run, Sharp has awarded one lucky winner a 40-inch Quatron TV and Blu-ray player. Quatron, you have to see it to see it. To see if you have won or to enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca.
Home run has the Blue Jays on the board. It's 6-1 Tampa Bay. Jose Molina with 2 outs. Gloved by Longoria. What a play. Taking away extra bases from Molina. Molina continues to hit the ball right on the button. Look at the reactions of the third baseman. Robs Molina of a hit. receiving after 4 innings. He allows just 3 hits, but gives up 6 runs, all earned runs, and not much a pitching coach can say.
Too many base runners in that 4th inning. You had 3 base on balls, 2 hit batters, a double and a home run. All said and done, 7 strikeouts in the 4 innings for Romero. And for the second time in this series, the Rays score 6 runs in 1 inning, knock out the starter. The Blue Jays go to their bullpen. Graham Mills was just recalled a couple of days ago from Las Vegas. This is the second time that we have seen Mills this season. He made a couple of starts for Toronto. He was a starter down in AAA. His record 8-6 with an ERA of about 5. He did have 100 strikeouts in 112 innings pitching for Las Vegas.
This pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. 5th inning, Rays lead 6-1. Carl Crawford, number 3 hitter. Ball on the strike.
Mills had a start against the Baltimore Orioles earlier this year. We came out for a spot start and really dealt against Baltimore. Pitch that was really working for him that day. He's got a good changeup that he'll use. He used it good that day, and got a good overhand curveball. He needs to stay down and get ahead of hitters.
Mills, 25 years old. This is his 4th professional season. He was a 4th-round pick out of University of Arizona in 2007. Two and two. Just missed the outside corner. Went right back to that outside corner and catches Carl Crawford.
Well, if you miss, come back and throw a better one. That's exactly what he does. Ricky Romero's line this afternoon, just 4 innings for Romero. You see the 7 strikeouts, which is very good. Those 4 innings pitched for Romero is his shortest outing of the season. He'll be charged with 6 earned runs.
Evan Longoria takes the first pitch strike. Ball on a strike to the Rays' 3rd baseman. Ricky Romero looked like he was going to get out of it with 1st and 2nd when he struck out Evan Longoria. But then Ben Zobrist hit the first pitch down into the right field corner, and that started the 6-run inning.
The first 3 innings that we saw from Romero today was as good as I think we have seen him all season long. There were games where he had 12 strikeouts against the White Sox.
That's popped up behind the mound. Escobar Hill converging. Escobar calls for it. Longoria's retired.
There was also a game where he had 12 strikeouts in a complete game against Texas. But the first 3 innings today, Romero looked good. Very sharp. 1, 2, 3, first inning with a strikeout. A couple more in the 2nd inning. A couple more in the 3rd. That 4th inning, though, a couple of walks, a hit batter, and then the big blast by Hawk.
Ben Zobrist, the 2-run double in the 4th. Makes the first pitch changeup for a strike. Zobrist had 2 RBI in last night's game. Adds 2 more here this afternoon. Zobrist's versatility is certainly an asset. Not only can he play anywhere on the field, but he's a switch hitter as well. Good base runner, good defender. Fastball on the corner.
That's the thing about the Rays the last, I guess, 4 or 5 years, that they have made good baseball decisions. They're very smart. They actually picked up Ben Zobrist in a trade with the Houston Astros. When Aubrey Huff went over there, they got Zobrist, a minor leaguer at the time.
And there's another ball down the left field line. This could be extra bases for Zobrist. Around first, headed for second. He'll slide in with his second double of the afternoon.
Versatility, a little pop, and some speed. Breaking ball, he stays back and uses his hands and rips it into the corner. You don't see a lot of commitment there on that swing. He stays right behind that ball and rips it into left field. 21 doubles now for Zobrist.
2 outs. Carlos Pena. A strikeout and a walk so far for Pena. 6-1 Tampa Bay. Late on the fastball. Well, the bullpen did it for Cedar Gaston last night. 7 innings of 1-hit relief. Try to put up some more zeros and give the hitters a chance to hit their way back into this game. Jose Bautista came back in dramatic fashion in last night's game. 2 home runs, drove in 4, and tied it in the 7th. Pena, deep drive to center field. Vernon Wells on the run. Off his glove, up against the wall. Zobrist comes in to score. Pena stops at second. Looked like Wells got to that ball, and it went off his glove.
He was playing Carlos Pena, actually shading him the right center field, so he had a long way to go. This ball smoked hard into the gap, and this ball's twisting away from Wells, and he reaches up, and it looks like he had it. You're right. It goes right off of his glove. Just missed it. It'll be a double for Pena and an RBI. Rays now are out hitting the Blue Jays 5-4, but outscoring them 7-1.
We made that point earlier about the Rays' ability to score runs without the benefit of many hits.
Whenever that happens, whenever you look at a scoreboard and the scoreboard says more runs than hits, there's usually walks or errors that attribute to that.
Tampa Bay last night was 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Off-speed pitch. Rodriguez can't believe it. Eric Cooper rings him up. Brad Mills strikes out Rodriguez to end the inning, but Pena drives in an insurance run. Tampa Bay leads 7-1. Cheek for the 2011 Ford C. Frick Award. To go to go to facebook.com/baseball hall and click on poll. The voting closes September 30th. But cast your vote for Tom Cheek to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Number 9 hitter Travis Snyder leads things off in the 5th. Wade Davis went 7 2/3 innings the last time he faced the Blue Jays. That came back on August 30th, the opener of that series in St. Petersburg. 7 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. He didn't walk a batter in that game.
Part of the nice little roll that he has been on since July the 3rd. It's mixed in a trip to the disabled list in between there, but he has won 6 games in a row. That's the longest win streak by a Rays rookie. And if he can win today, that would tie a team record for most wins consecutively.
Base hit into left field. Snyder went with the pitch and drove it into left.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
With the leadoff base hit now, the Blue Jays have matched the Rays with 5 hits apiece. Into the glove of Pena. Second base for 1, back to first, double play. Just like that, the leadoff base hit is erased with the double play. Fourth, Pena gets that ball to second in a hurry.
He's got a good, accurate arm, a sure glove. Won a Gold Glove a couple of years ago as a first baseman. The inner defense of the Tampa Bay Rays is excellent. From Longoria to Bartlett, Rodriguez, and Pena. Made that one look easy, the 3-6-1 double play. Pena's momentum takes him to second base, so he clears out of the way, gives his shortstop a good throw. Bartlett does the rest.
2 quick outs. Pena, Bartlett, Davis on the double play. Wade Davis gets to first base in good shape, and he anchors there so he can take the throw.
Gets there very quickly. He's a big target. He's about 6'5". So a big target for Bartlett to get the out.
Following a strike to Escobar.
That's the whole key when you're trying to turn that 3-6-1 is that pitcher get to first base as quickly as possible. It's awfully tough for that shortstop to make that return throw and try to hit a moving target.
A ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the 5th. Escobar has a couple of hits already. A single and a double. He has 2 of the 5 Jays hits. .96 just off the plate.
Plenty of steam. Got a good fastball. It'll range from 91 to 97. It looks effortless when Davis lets it go. Haven't seen too many curveballs, and he's got a good one.
Three hits for Escobar. Boy, he stayed on that high fastball. That might have been upstairs for a ball, but he drove it into right field. 3 for 3.
Coming into this game, we know Escobar had 6 hits to right field all season long. Pitchers are starting to pitch him outside now, and he's starting to go with it. This is his 2nd hit to the right side. Rewarded with a base hit and a chance for a home run. Possibly turn the tide a little bit.
Jose Bautista. There's a curveball. Bautista thought it broke around the plate. But as we saw yesterday, well, he has a great ability to refocus. Concentrate on the next pitch.
Painted right there. That at bat that you were talking about, he had stepped out and the pitch, he didn't get time. The pitch was a strike. Against a guy who throws about 96 or 97, he turned around the fastball. That was a great at bat to watch. But he had an at bat earlier in the game where he had a 15 pitch at bat versus James Shields. You don't see that very often from players that have 40+ home runs, have 15 pitch at bats.
Yeah, Shields made great pitch after great pitch, and Bautista just battled and continued to extend the at bat.
Usually when you have guys that have 40 home runs, there's a hole somewhere in their swing, and a pitcher will find it.
A ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball this time around the inside corner. 2-2. In that 15 pitch at bat, Bautista would eventually pop up off of Shields into right field. And then Travis Snyder was doubled up on a strong throw by Ben Zobrist. A 9-2 inning-ending double play. 2-2. Down and away. I don't care. You got to throw Bautista a fastball here. 3-2, 2 outs. Got to throw him a strike.
Yeah, throw him a strike. Maybe turn that fastball over a little bit, try and sink it a little bit. He threw one to Bautista earlier in the game that surprised him a little bit.
Escobar will be off on the pitch. There he goes. He walked him. Check in with Sam Cosentino.
Well, guys, what I have with me is the Jose Bautista bat. It's a T141 handle and a G174 barrel. Oftentimes, players like to customize their equipment, but when you have a name at the start of the year like Jose Bautista does, bat companies weren't all that anxious to produce. Sam Bat of Ottawa, Ontario stepped up to the plate, and now all of a sudden every other bat company wants a piece of Jose Bautista.
And knowing Jose Bautista, I bet you he's going to stay loyal to Sam Bat. First and second, 2 outs. Vernon Wells. Swings and misses at the curveball. Davis hasn't thrown many, but as you said, it's a good one.
Yeah, right over the top. Falls off the table. I thought at some point that he was going to throw a breaking ball to Escobar. He kept pumping fastballs, and that is their base hit and then a walk. That's where we sit right now. Starting to use it against Vernon Wells.
Davis ahead 0-2. Wells may have gotten something in his eye, even under his sunglasses. Sometimes you foul balls around home plate and it'll kick dirt up into your eye. You don't see it very often when a hitter's got sunglasses on.
He gets up underneath. How about when the chalk sprays up and hits you in the face?
Wells behind 0-2. Popped it up back behind the screen. You can see Shopek holding the glove up. Wanted that fastball upstairs. Davis delivered.
He has that ability, Davis, to pitch up in the strike zone. Watch Shopek running this 0-2 fastball. Doesn't want a mistake. I think he can go up a little bit higher, right around the letters. Does a couple of things. It expands the strike zone and it changes the eye plane of the batter. You can then throw that good overhand curveball then if you feel like it.
Another 0-2 pitch. Bounced in the dirt. Good jump by Shopek. 7-1 Tampa Bay leads it. Another 6-run inning. That came in the fourth off of Ricky Romero. They scored 6 in the first in last night's game off Brett Cecil. Blue Jays trying to come back against Wade Davis. shot to Bartlett. It's short, not in time. Again, Bautista hustling to beat the force at second.
That's the second time that we have seen Jose Bautista get a base hit for Vernon Wells with good hustle. You know, it all starts with a very good, aggressive lead over there at first base. Look how far off he is, not taking anything for granted. He's halfway to second base when that ball is getting across home plate. Good secondary lead, not taking anything for granted, and he hustles himself into second base. Bases loaded and 2 outs. All of this starting after the double play by Fred Lewis.
Hey, fans, the bases are loaded, and we're only one swing away from awarding a 60-inch Sharp Aquos Quatron TV. Quatron for colors never before seen on TV. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. We pointed out in the open what a complete player Jose Bautista has become, and there's another example. Not taking anything for granted. And I'm going to throw a little praise on the umpire at second, Bill Miller. That's an easy call to assume that the throw is going to beat the runner, but Miller was in perfect position, watched the play unfold in front of him, and took his time to call Bautista safe.
Especially how hard the ball was hit. That ball was smoked right at Bartlett. You would think that there wouldn't even be a play.
Lyle Overbay has already gone deep here this afternoon. Looks at the inside fastball. Overbay hit a 3-2 fastball out of the yard to center field.
Got the fans back into the ball game. That was just last inning. Got his teammates fired up a little bit. Looking for one more big hit here.
Comes back with the curveball, a ball on the strike. Bautista with that slide at second. He's one of those players like Longoria that drags the rest of his team along with his effort. You see him play every day, and it makes you play harder.
Little things.
A ball and 2 strikes.
Little things that turn into big things. Bases loaded. Lyle Overbay comes up with a hit. You can point right to Bautista's play.
Kept the
infield playing very deep with Overbay up. Look where Sean Rodriguez, the second baseman, is. They're going to try to knock down any ball that is on the ground.
Davis tried to come inside and missed up and away.
This is the pitch right here. 2-2. You're going to get him out. This is the pitch he wants to get him out with.
Overbay foul tipped it into the glove of the catcher. Wade Davis strikes out Overbay and strands the bases loaded. Good fastball. Shopping full time. game scores, roster moves, lineups, roof status, and ticket offers straight from the Blue Jays. Facebook.com/Blue Jays for more details. Sixth inning, Tampa Bay leads 6-1, leads 7-1, lead by 6 runs. Brad Mills, his second inning of relief. Brad Hopp with the big blow, a grand slam, a home run in the 4th. And Joe Madden told Sam Cosentino earlier he just had a feeling that the matchup Hopp against Ricky Romero was a good one.
Got to know your ball club, know your players. You know, at first glance, you would say, well, I need Rocco Baldelli in there. He got a double in yesterday's game. He's a right-handed hitter. No way do I want to have a left-hander face Ricky Romero with that good curveball, a good changeup that he has. Joe Madden knows his team.
Changeup just missed off the plate. The thing about Madden, when Brad Hopp was activated on the 1st of September, Hopp was in the lineup. So Dioner Navarro had come back from the minor leagues. He started that game. Desmond Jennings, his first day, he too started. Hopp hits another high fly ball to right field. Lewis in the corner and makes the catch. So much more to managing than just putting a player in the lineup. It's timing. Know when to put him in there. Know when he's going to have an opportunity to succeed. And certainly Madden picked a good day for Hopp.
Certain managers have that knack of being able to do that. A couple that come to mind for me, Jim Leland was very good at using all of his players, keeping everybody happy, getting them equal playing time, giving them a chance. Buck Showalter comes to mind also. He's really good at that also.
Now it's a 25-man roster, and you have to make everyone feel part of it. Right now, Kelly Shopping hitting just 182, but he's a big part of what they're doing. When you think about Madden's success with this organization, you got to think he's in contention for Manager of the Year. I would say Ron Washington of the Rangers also in position for that.
Texas Rangers, you know, if they finish up strong, they have a good chance of sweeping all the awards this year. Cy Young, C.J. Wilson, they finishes up strong. You mentioned the Manager of the Year. MVP, Josh Hamilton, if he can get back on the field. Neftali Feliz, Rookie of the Year. I mean, they have a chance to sweep them all.
In some year, what a comeback last night. Rangers trailed 5-4 in the 8th inning. Nelson Cruz hit a home run. First pitch he saw from Jabba Chamberlain to tie it. And then Cruz won it in extra innings. 5 hours and 12 minutes. They played 13 innings down in Arlington.
That was a playoff game. If you had a chance to watch it last night, both of those teams would not give an inch.
Kelly Shopping's not giving an inch in this at bat. Fouls off the 3-2 pitch. The Yankees and the Rangers in last night's game combined to use 19 pitchers. Oh, the beauty of expanded rosters.
September baseball, you gotta love it.
Full count, Kelly Shopping.
Let me throw out another name at you.
Manager of the Year?
Manager of the Year. What about Ron Gardenhire?
Yeah. He gets overlooked.
No Joe Nathan. They haven't had Justin Morneau for how long?
July 7th.
July 7th. They have the 3rd best record in the American League. They lead by 5 games. It's easy to pass over.
Yeah. We just expect the Twins to do that. Shopping takes the walk. When you look at Minnesota's record, 83-58, they are 5 games ahead of the White Sox. And mind you, they lost Nathan early on. He was done for the season.
Yeah, season hadn't even started.
White Sox haven't been able to keep pace. Even though they've added Manny Ramirez, A.J. Pierzynski has been on fire of late. He's hit .464 with runners in scoring position over the last month.
For the month.
And they still can't keep up with the Twins. Former Ray Delman Young's had a breakout season. Joe Mauer's been Joe Mauer.
Yep. Jim Thome.
How about that year?
Yeah. Did you see that coming?
No.
I didn't see that coming.
Neither did the White Sox. They let him go.
Let him go.
Going to be a great 3 weeks of baseball left. Final 3 weeks of the season. Maybe great's not the word that San Diego's using right now. They have seen their 6.5 game lead evaporate in 16 days. They are tied with the Giants now in the National League West. All the way back to the screen, Shopik will jog down to second base.
San Francisco is hard charging. They have won 8 out of their last 10. This pitch from Mills goes off the glove of Molina. Probably go as a pass ball.
That it is. Charge to the catcher. Shopik's in scoring position. How about Troy Tulowitzki's Colorado Rockies?
Don't forget about them.
Troy Tulowitzki and Carlos Gonzalez have been a two-man wrecking crew. Tulowitzki hit his 8th home run last night. 8 home runs in his last 8 games. That's a pretty good pace.
That's a pretty good week. 20 of them now for Tulowitzki.
Back-to-back walks issued by Brad Mills here with 1 out in the 6th. Tulowitzki hit 2 homers, a double, scored 4 runs, and knocked in 3 last night as the Rockies beat the Diamondbacks. And in those 8 games, he's hit .419, 13 hits, 14 runs scored, and 15 RBI.
And the Rockies have won all 8 games. They've won 8 in a row.
Bartlett to right field and deep. Lewis is on the warning track. He hauls it in. Shopik will advance to third. Take a look at the National League standings now. The Giants and the Padres tied atop the board. Giants actually trail in the loss column, but have another win. Rockies just 2.5 back. That's unbelievable.
They're making one of those patented runs that they do in September. And the wild card is even tighter in the National League.
Atlanta's atop the wild card race. San Diego, San Francisco a game back, and the Rockies 3.5 back. Carl Crawford pulls it outside of first and foul. Well, when you look around that National League, there are some interesting matchups. Roy Halladay won his 18th game last night.
Got a bases loaded hit also in that game.
Interesting. He becomes the first 18-game winner since John Denny. Back in 1983, Denny had 19 wins in 83 for that Philly team. There's a drive to right field. Lewis is back on the track. Can't make the play. It goes off his glove. 2 runs are going to come in to score. Crawford is headed for third. He will have his second triple of the series. Again, looked like Fred Lewis got to the ball, and it hit off his glove, and Crawford ends up at third.
It will go as a triple for Carl Crawford. A couple more RBIs. Hits the ball hard. They're playing him straight away. Lewis with that good speed gets to the ball, reaches up, and just misses it. Bounces up against the wall, and Crawford not taking anything for granted. Tripled in yesterday's ball game to the gap in left center. This time to the gap in right center.
12 triples for Crawford. That leads the American League. He also has 78 RBI.
Now 104 triples in his career.
High fly ball to right. Fred Lewis makes the catch. Longoria's retired, but the Rays add 2 more. They have stretched out their lead to 9-1. Comfort zone. There's some great Blue Jay fans on a glorious Saturday afternoon. Front row seats. Unfortunately, they're watching Tampa Bay swing the bats. Tampa Bay has scored 9 runs, but those great fans are there courtesy of TD Canada Trust. Bottom of the 6th inning. Aaron Hill, Adam Lind, and Jose Molina, the scheduled hitters.
Ice creamers. They're on a stick. In a box, people.
You mentioned the conversation about AL Managers of the Year candidates, and we talked about Ron Washington, Joe Madden, and Ron Gardenhire. Certainly, I agree with you 100%. I think Ron Gardenhire doesn't get his just due, almost because you expect the Twins to just be good.
You know, I know their payroll is a little bit higher this year because of that stadium. They were able to go out and sign Joe Mauer and keep some of their other players. But year in and year out, for a small market team to win and replace great players with more great players, I think what they do in Minnesota is pretty special.
And kudos to that community for getting behind the ball club and building that beautiful stadium. And everybody knows the economy in North America in general is not great, but they rallied behind the organization. Remember, in this decade, the Twins were candidates to be chopped, to be cut back, eliminated. They had talked about folding up the Minnesota Twins, and now they're the benchmark, the standard by which you try to compete. Pulled on the ground is short. Bartlett has it, rights himself, and throws out Hill.
Think about that. I remember when those rumors were going around.
Contraction.
Yeah. There were 2 teams. I believe Tampa was there. Florida was possibly in there.
Of course, they moved Montreal with them in
right.
Washington, but Minnesota was in that conversation. And now they're a booming organization, posed to go to the postseason. How about the National League Manager of the Year? Buddy Black's got to be front and center. Dusty Baker, Cincinnati.
Stole my thunder there.
I knew you were going for the hometown team.
Yeah, I had to.
How about Bruce Bochy? They didn't have much of an offensive club at the start of this season, and they've put together a pretty good club now.
About 10 days ago, he aired out his starters. Said, you got to give me more. They've got a good starting staff. Had a team meeting with them, aired them out. They've gone on a nice little run. And the starting pitchers are the things that are fueling what the Giants are doing.
San Diego is first in the National League in ERA. San Francisco is third. And the strength of their team for the last few seasons has been starting pitching. But you're right. It's almost like they were sleepwalking through the middle part of the season. They haven't done much offensive. They're ninth in the National League in runs scored. High fly ball to center field. 2 outs.
You can win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Two outs, bottom of the 6th inning. The catcher, Jose Molina.
If Atlanta hangs on in the National League and gets into the playoffs, either winning their division or wild card, Bobby Cox has got to certainly have votes for Manager of the Year.
Sentimental vote as well, but certainly putting that team together. Molina pulls it foul. They lost Chipper Jones. They went out and acquired Jermaine Dye. Bobby Cox brought Jason Hayward onto the team in spring training. Added the rookie to the lineup. And boy, Tim Hudson has pitched like the old Tim Hudson, hasn't he?
They lost Jair Jurgens for a lot of the season. Hudson's been great. Derek Lowe's banged up a little bit. Billy Wagner's had a great year. They brought some kids up to fill out that bullpen. Derek Lee is now with them at playing some first base. We've got great years from Prado and Infante.
Molina hits it on the line to center field, but Upton is there, and it's a quick 1-2-3 6th inning for Wade Davis. Tampa Bay out in front, 9-1. Provided by Statsy. Music provided by Universal Canada. Junior Jays Day at Rogers Center. Our kids in attendance enjoying a beautiful afternoon. Brad Mills in his 3rd inning of work out of the bullpen. The Blue Jays have been roughed up. Last 4 games, they've allowed 30 runs, and we knew it was going to be a tough September given the schedule. Texas, Tampa Bay have taken advantage of the Blue Jays pitching.
It's been a tough September, hasn't it? They have played some big teams. Yankees this month. Tampa a couple of times.
Well, even the way Baltimore's playing now, that's not going to be a slam dunk. Blue Jays will go to Baltimore Sunday night A 3-game series Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And, oh, by the way, the Yankees will be back. Final series at home this year. September 27th, 28th, and 29th. And the way things look, the Yankees will be battling Tampa Bay for the top spot in the East.
All the way down, I think, to the end of the season.
Tampa Bay and the Yankees have 7 more games to play against one another. If you were the Yankees, is home field advantage imperative for you?
Yes. Yankee Stadium is a tough place to go into and win. Rays shaved the game off of that lead yesterday when the Yankees lost in extra innings to Texas.
Yankees are up by a game and a half. Tampa Bay and the Yankees will meet after this series in Tampa Bay.
What a pitching matchup on Monday. Price, Sabathia.
Zobrist to the gap in right field. Fred Lewis, shading his eyes, is there to make the catch. Joe Madden had talked about the improved division. Look at the Orioles' record since August 4th, 21-14, tied with the Yankees.
They're playing with a little bit more heart, a little bit more determination.
A little bit more fear.
How about an open audition for a job for next season?
Cedar Gaston and Joe Madden both understand what it is to live in the American League East. They've both won in this division. And to win in this division, you have to have tried and true experienced players. Day in and day out. Where the only thing that matters is winning.
It's a meat grinder. Day in and day out when you're playing these tough teams. I think there's a couple of things that you need. I think you need a deep bullpen with some flamethrowers to win in the East. You need starting pitching, but that's universal throughout all of baseball. You need great starting pitching. I think you need to play good defense, and you need some speed.
I asked Joe Madden about the importance of the bullpen in this division. He said, because everybody is so patient at the plate, you need strikeout pitchers. Guys that can come in and strike out hitters with runners on base. Pena goes down for a second time today on strikes.
Those bullpen guys that you were just talking about late in game, chances are they're coming up. They're coming out of that bullpen with runners on base. You need strikeouts. And they're facing good hitters. You think of the lineups that live in the American League East.
And now, I mean, you have to go back and consider Tampa Bay's lineup, how balanced it is with switch hitters, speed, athleticism. The Yankees lineup, balanced top to bottom. They too have switch hitters in their lineup. Boston, when they're healthy, and that's a big problem for them this year, but when they're healthy. Ellsbury's been out all year. Pedroia's been out second half. Varitek's in the latter stages of his career.
Youkilis?
Yeah, Youkilis. That's a huge loss, too.
All you have to look to is the middle of the lineups in the American League East. The middle of those offensive lineups.
Well, when it's right, it's Pedroia, Youkilis, Varitek. I mean, not Varitek. Youkilis and
Victor. Poppy.
The ball's hit off the end of the bat, and Snyder will come in to make the grab. Mills has a 1-2-3 seventh inning. Burger King, home of the Whopper.
Fourth inning, bases loaded. Brad Hopp, who just came over from the Colorado Rockies, will take a ball from Ricky Romero and put it in the stands with the bases loaded. 7th grand slam for the Rays this year. Hopp has 15 at-bats, 2 homers, and 6 RBIs already.
9-1-2 for the Jays in the 7th. Travis Snyder had a single to left field in the 5th. And we had a little conversation about NL Manager of the Year. Would you lean toward Dusty Baker or Bud Black? I think those are the 2 front runners, don't you?
Yeah.
Snyder drives it high, but not that deep in right field. Zobrist is there, shading his eyes, and makes the catch.
When you factor in the National League Manager of the Year, where San Diego came from last year, Cincinnati didn't finish in last place. They weren't that bad last year. Pittsburgh has finished last so many times. Cincinnati was in the middle of the pack last year. But San Diego was not very good last year. Now they have a chance of winning the division, and you might have to give it to Buddy Black if they hold on.
Well, and the thing, too, we talked about this a little bit in reference to the Blue Jays trying to finish up strong. Both Cincinnati and San Diego had strong finishes to their season a year ago. And that encouraged the players, hey, we got something going here a little bit. We're playing okay. And obviously they were playing the pennant contending clubs at that point. Wade Davis is getting a visit here from the pitching coach and the training staff. That's not a good sign. Jim Hickey came out to the umpire, and they obviously have been aware of something physical. And the trainer is out with the pitching coach.
He spent a couple of weeks in August on the disabled list with a right shoulder strain.
At this point of the season, if there's anything whatsoever questionable, there would be no reason for him to continue in this 9-1 game. So Hickey appears as though he's been satisfied that Davis is okay.
This is the last pitch from Wade Davis. See if he does anything at the end right there. I don't see anything.
No, I didn't see anything that would suggest that. That tells me Hickey was aware of something in between innings. Davis might have mentioned something on the bench, but he appears to be okay. But just in case, Jim Hickey's calling to the bullpen. There's really no reason to ask Davis to pitch any further in this game. Getting through this inning, I'm sure, would be his last. Lewis takes the 1-out walk. 100 pitches for Davis.
He's got a bright future. Getting just 24 years old. Big and strong. The Rays have been developing good young pitchers the last couple of years. Neiman comes to mind, and Davis, Hellickson, a youngster that they have in their bullpen. David Price was just drafted a few years ago. We also have a left-hander that'll probably come up as soon as the AAA season's over, Jake McGee.
Junel Escobar, 3 for 3 this afternoon. Average up to 298. Escobar has not had a 4-hit game this season. You mentioned Jake McGee. They're going to bring him up, use him out of the bullpen, and see if he can't help them down the stretch. That really becomes important when they go into face New York. Robinson, Cano, Curtis Granderson, who's improved dramatically against left-handed pitching. Of course, Teixeira, Posada, and Swisher are all switch hitters. Escobar to left field, but that'll hang up for Crawford. Check in with Sam Cosentino.
Buck, after the New Hampshire Fisher Cats ended their season last night with Edwin Encarnacion as the third baseman, he has flown into Toronto to join the team today. Jose Bautista has been seeing some time at third base, but Encarnacion will be activated off the disabled list Monday. So it'll be interesting to see if Cito Gaston goes back to that rotation he had before Encarnacion was put on the DL.
That's good news that he is healthy. You want to make sure that you get a few games under your belt at the end of the season before you go into the off season with some uncertainty about an injury. Jose Bautista takes the cutter for his strength. Bautista 0 for 2 with the walk and 2 home runs in last night's game. He is now sitting at 46 home runs for the season. Ball on the strength. Almost hitting. All the way back to the screen. Boy, he had to do some dancing to get out of the way of that pitch.
The pitch, his first at bat that he turned over a fastball. That's what it looks like he's tried to throw his last 2 pitches to Bautista. They're just trying to crowd him. They're not trying to hit him or anything like that. They're just trying to throw a fastball, turn a fastball over and get it on the inside part of the plate so he can't extend his arm.
Good cut at that fastball. Lewis went to second on the wild pitch. 9-1 Rays on the strength of a 6-run 4th inning. The 2 top home run seasons for the Blue Jays franchise. George Bell with the record in '87 at 47. Bautista this year, 1 behind him. Home road comparisons. Interesting. 30 home runs for Bautista at home, while Bell had just 19 at Exhibition Stadium. Bautista goes too far. He may have been thrown out of the game. Bautista showing his displeasure with Mike Riley down at first, and I'm not sure if he's been ejected or not. Check swing. Mike Riley on the appeal calls Bautista out. And then he throws his bat, and I believe, well, he's still in the game. That's good news. Take a look at the last swing of last inning. Jose Bautista is called out on appeal. And then he looks at Mike Ronnie down at first base and leaves his equipment in the batter's box to show his displeasure with the call. But he's still in the ball game, and he's still at third base. Cito Gaston comes out to make sure that Bautista isn't rejected. So there he is at third. We are in the eighth, and Cito Gaston has gone to the bullpen again. It's the big left-hander, Rami Lewis.
We saw Rami Lewis earlier this season when he was called up for a few games. Big left-hander did some starting down in the minor leagues this season for Las Vegas. 1-5 with a 759 in 24 games. 8 of them starts in AAA. But when he was up here earlier this year, used out of the bullpen, and for the most part, he came in and he threw strikes.
He's got a big arm and a guy that can have some success. Brad Hopp's had success today. His second home run for the Rays, a grand slam.
There's nothing like coming to a new team and helping out right away. He has had 15 at-bats since they picked him up from Colorado. A couple of home runs and 6 RBIs. That'll endear you to your new teammates.
Well, Brad Hopp grew up in the Rockies organization, and when they played the Boston in the World Series a couple of years ago, Brad Hopp was an important part of that. And if you're going to add to your organization, certainly you look to character guys that have a background of winning. Hopp goes into left field, the second hit of the afternoon. Both coming against left-handers.
The Rays have tried to find another left-handed bat. Remember, Hank Blaylock was with them in spring training and did not work out for him. They had Eric Hinsky a couple of years ago. Brad Hopp now fills that spot for left-hander that can play multiple positions.
And Hopp might be insurance against Carlos Pena leaving to free agency. He can play first base. Kelly Shopik, 0 for 1 officially. He was hit by a pitch and walked. Nine runs on 7 hits for Tampa Bay, 1 run on 7 hits for the Blue Jays. Tampa Bay always has the opportunistic offense. They see a little light in the crack at the door, and they're going to use both feet and kick the door in.
They have an ability late in the ball game. It's almost like their focus is taken up another notch. Games on the line, they come up with big base hits, or they get an inning started, a rally started with a walk or a hit by pitch, just like today. But late in the game, they have that ability to really keep the pressure on the opposition.
The drive into left field. This ball is carrying Snyder at the wall. It's a home run, Kelly Shopik. Snyder jumped for it, but it was over the fence in left. Shopik's 4th home run of the season. It's 11-1 Tampa Bay.
That's the Kelly Shopik that Tampa's been looking for a couple of years ago for the Cleveland Indians. In part-time duty as a backup catcher, he had 20 home runs. So he's got some pop. High arcing drive. It looked like a breaking ball from Lewis. Snyder has a beat on it, finds the wall, gets back to the wall. And you can tell from that replay, it was just over his glove.
Second home run of the afternoon for Tampa Bay. But you mentioned Tampa Bay and how well they can focus at the end of the game. Desmond Jennings come in, a pinch hitter, and slaps it down the right field line. He's headed for second base, and he's in there easily. Jennings pitch hitting for B.J. Upton.
How about that speed from Desmond Jennings? Played in AAA all season long. First pitch, he slices the ball down the right field line with the long athletic strides. Doesn't take him very long to get into scoring position.
First major league hit for Desmond Jennings. Tampa Bay has players coming out of the woodwork. Jennings is another example of athleticism. Tampa Bay drafted Jennings. He was a two-sport star, a great wide receiver in junior college. You think about the history. Carl Crawford was a three-sport star: basketball, football, and baseball. Rocco Baldelli, also very athletic, multiple sports star.
High draft pick. Baldelli was a high draft pick. Crawford was a second rounder. Jennings was a 10th round draft pick.
There's a base hit into center field. Wells will get over, try to cut it off, but he can't get to it. Jennings breezes around third base. Bartlett's headed for third with the triple. Bartlett's third triple of the season drives home the 12th Tampa Bay run. Bruce Walton again on the phone to the bullpen, but you had mentioned how Tampa Bay focuses late in the ball game. They've scored 3 runs here in the 8th inning. They have now outscored their opponents 56 runs in the 8th inning this year.
Wow.
I mean, that's finishing games.
Finishing games, and think about who they're going to be hitting against for the most part in the 8th inning. Tough setup guy, or maybe a closer will come in. That's saying something.
Matt Joyce is pinch hitting for Carl Crawford. Two. Joyce has had a pretty interesting impact on this team as well. He's hit 2 grand slams this year. Former Tiger farmhand has 8 home runs for the season. Nobody out here in the 3rd inning. Excuse me, in the 8th inning with 3 runs in.
Joyce is just 26 years old. You mentioned he was in the Detroit organization when he was there. 12 home runs and just over 200 at bats a couple years ago. They think he is going to be a developing power hitting outfielder.
Three and 2 to Joyce. Another foul back. 12 runs scored by Tampa Bay here this afternoon again. 9 in yesterday's game. Rangers scored 4 on Wednesday. Excuse me, 8 on Wednesday, 4 on Thursday. Blue Jays pitching has given up some runs lately. When we talk about the competition in the month of September, it's going to be stiff with the Rangers and Tampa Bay both looking to go to the postseason. The Blue Jays have given up 33 runs in the last 4 games.
Well, you know you're going to be getting the best that they have to offer. They got a lot playing for, a lot on the line. Texas, Tampa, the Yankees later on. That's going to be an RBI for Joyce. You throw Boston, they're not out of it. We still have to play them 3 more times. And then Minnesota to finish off the season. So you're going to get the best of all of these teams.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy path through the rest of September and into October. Willie Ibar will be the 3rd pinch hitter that will use this inning. We're pinch hitting for the third baseman, Evan Longoria. Longoria leaves with a 1-for-4.
This is nothing new for Joe Madden and his crew about pinch hitting, is it?
No, he is very aggressive, and he used 6 pinch hitters in an inning.
Broke his own record. Pinched hit 5 times in a row last year.
And now, of course, with the expanded rosters, he has many options. And he and Dave Martinez, a mirror image of one another, looking at their option sheet. They have the roster, they have the matchups and defensive replacements. Trying to get some of the extra guys an inning or two of work here. Willie Ibar is an important guy on this team. With 37 RBIs and 248 at-bats.
Another one of those players who can play all over. When Pena was injured this year, he had some starts over at first base. He's can play in the middle of the infield. Got to keep those bats, the timing of those batters as the season wears on.
Especially when you're thinking about who will be able to help you in the postseason. And this is the guy they're very pleased that he's starting to come around. Ben Zobrist with 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, and he scored a couple. Zobrist drove in 2 runs in yesterday's game. Cito Gaston has come out of the Blue Jays bullpen. Rami Lewis is having control issues. He's given up 4 hits. The Rays have reached him for the cycle in this inning. A single, a home run, a double, and a triple. And then with the 1-out walk, his day has come to an end. Tampa Bay 13-1. David Percy in. They raised him up. Sean Markham will go to the mound for the Blue Jays. He will be faced by big Jeff Neiman. Neiman's 10-6, Markham 12-7. Final game between these two ball clubs of the 2010 season.
David Percy comes out of the bullpen to finish off the 8th inning. Percy has now gotten into 28 games for the Blue Jays, an ERA of 3.49. Saw Percy a couple of days ago against Texas, last in an inning. Gave up 3 earned runs.
First pitch off the glove of Molina. This has gotten ugly. Ibar goes down to second. One out, 8th inning. Tampa Bay 13-1. Percy's charged with a wild pitch. Percy inherited a 1-ball count. Percy throws a strike. Full count. Zobrist takes the walk. Back-to-back walks in the 8th inning.
Zobrist has been on 3 times today. Carlos Pena's day is over. As Joe Madden, you look at the pitching coach and the manager writing out their score sheets. Joe Madden goes to his bench again and will bring another very good young player.
Great Brignac, an infielder, primarily a shortstop, will bat for Carlos Pena. Pops up the first pitch, back out of play. 4th pinch hitter of the inning. Brignac's time has been limited. He's a very capable shortstop, but with Jason Bartlett, the incumbent at short, Brignac has to bide his time.
He was another high draft pick for Tampa Bay. Selected in the 2nd round, 45th overall in 2004. He's got soft hands, good fielder. (24 years old).
Brignac and Ryan Theriot work out in the offseason. They both live in Louisiana. And Theriot helped Brignac a lot with the pivot at second base, knowing that he was going to be asked to be a utility player. So they worked a lot in the offseason to refine Brignac's ability to play second base.
That's tough to do if you've never done it before. If you've played shortstop your whole life, to go over to the other side and then turn the double play with that runner bearing down on you.
Blue Jays control has been an issue over their last 16 in the 3rd innings. They've walked 15.
It's a tough combination against Tampa, who leads the American League in base on balls. Just another piece of their offense.
Brignac goes down swinging. 2nd out of the 8th inning. Tampa Bay has scored 4 runs in this inning. But Tampa Bay, they're very opportunistic. They will make the most of those 15 walks.
Five of them have scored today.
Sean Rodriguez looking for his first hit. This is the 2nd inning today in which the Rays have batted around. They sent 10 men to the plate in the 4th, and Rodriguez is the 9th to bat here in the 8th. Pops this one up over near the seats, up the first baseline and out of play. Blue Jays have 6 left-handers in their bullpen. They've used 3 of them, Mills, Lewis, and now Percy. Tampa Bay has a good approach at the plate. They're not hitting for the average that Joe Madden would like, but look at the walks. They've taken nearly 600 walks. And anytime you are ahead of New York and Boston, you know you're doing something, because those two teams, they'll take their walks.
And it just shows you how hard it is to pitch in the American League East when you've got to face Tampa, New York, and Boston. On top of the production that they get from that whole team walks, they have the 3 best in the American League. Think about all the pitches that you use when you start facing these teams.
And then you elevate the pitch count of the starter. You get into the middle of the bullpen, and that's where you're going to really take advantage. High fly ball. Vernon Wells coming over, calls for it, and makes the catch in front of Fred Lewis, and the Jays finally close out the 8th inning. But the Rays send 9 men to the plate and score 4 more. Tampa Bay 13-1. Support his teammates gave him in this game.
Certainly did. He is in line for his 7th straight win, which would tie a franchise record for consecutive wins in a season. Just 1 earned run in his 7 innings of work. He will give way now to the veteran Dan Wheeler. Comes out of the bullpen for Joe Madden. Dan Wheeler's numbers, 2-2 with a 340 earned run average. 55 games now for Wheeler. A very low batting average against, 200. Lefties hitting 156, righties 212 against Wheeler. He's only given up 5 home runs this year. He has got a great inherited runners number also. And that's what you want when you have a veteran coming out of your bullpen. Throw strikes. Don't let runners, if they do come on, don't let them score. And Wheeler has done a great job of that.
Dwayne Wise batting for Vernon Wells. Wise done a good job. He's gotten a lot of playing time of late and made the most of it. Pinch hitting here in the 8th inning. Blue Jays with just 7 hits. Slider for a strike. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Running out of ink with all the changes that Tampa made last inning. Pinch hitters and all the defense. Joe Madden getting every one of his everyday players into the game.
Ground ball to second. Rodriguez over to Zobrist, who's now at first base, and Wise is retired. Zobrist moves from right to first. Reed Brignac came on as a pinch hitter. He's playing shortstop. Ibar, also a pinch hitter, takes over defensively at third. He hit for Longoria. Matt Joyce is in left field. Desmond Jennings hit for Upton. He's in center field. And Brad Hopp was the DH. He moves into the defensive position.
So that's 2 games in a row that he gets the DH into the game.
So the pitcher is now batting in the second spot in the lineup. Overbay hits one toward the gap, but that'll hang up. Jennings over and makes the catch.
Maybe 8 times. I think I read 8 times that he has gotten the designated hitter into the game this season. Maybe a prelude to if they get into the World Series and they're playing on the road and that he can manage in a game like that.
Well, I think Joe Madden takes every opportunity to test some ideas, test some thoughts, and he'll bounce it off his bench coach, Dave Martinez. And Martinez has become a prominent managerial candidate. And certainly the exposure he has gotten on this Tampa Bay's club the last couple of years has served him well.
You'll see a little bit of everything. DH is into the game. 6 pinch hitters in 1 inning.
Mike McCoy pinch hitting for Aaron Hill.
5 infielders when they need to get the run at the plate. See a little bit of everything.
McCoy with a big swing, 2 balls and a strike. Now you can see Hickey talking, I'm sure, about Dan Wheeler. Wheeler did a good job for the team when they played the Phillies in the World Series a couple of years ago. They're trying to factor in all of these games and look ahead not only to the Yankees series, but the possibility of postseason play.
You've got extra players that you got to think about. Let's take a look at this guy to see what he has to offer.
McCoy rips it to left field. That'll be caught by Joyce. What a play. Matt Joyce got a great jump on it. Robs Mike McCoy of extra bases. In a 13-1 game, makes an outstanding defensive play to end the 8th. Mike McCoy pinch hit for Aaron Hill. He plays second base. Johnny Mack comes on to play shortstop. Jared Hoffbauer takes over defensively at third. And Dwayne Wise is in center field after he pinch hit. (13-1) Tampa Bay. They have scored 13 runs on 10 hits. Brad Hopp had the big blow in the 4th inning, a grand slam. Tampa Bay scored 6 in the 4th and 4 in the 8th. Breaking ball gets Hopp. First out of the night.
That's better right there against a very dangerous hitter who's had a couple of hits. Put him away with a breaking ball. Hitters have told me that they have trouble picking the ball up from David Percy. Hides the ball well. Throws a heavy fastball that gets on hitters quickly.
You can just see the way the ball finishes. That got a lot of length movement. 92-93, not the hardest fastball we've seen from a left-hander, but it looks like a good one.
You know, and it when you hide the ball like that, and hitters, you know, saying that the ball gets on him, 92 or 93 could be 96. You get a feel for 96 when you're up there. Consistency in the strike zone is important for David.
He's ahead of Kelly Shopik. A ball and 2 strikes, 1 out, 9th inning. Ball in the dirt there, and Sebia blocks it. J.P. Aronsebi hasn't seen a lot of playing time. Tito Gaston wanted to continue to use John Buck, especially against the contending ball clubs, and given the season John Buck has had, I think he wants to give him as many opportunities as he can. Percy strikes out 2 here in the 9th.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
That's one thing that a manager has in September, you know, the loyalty to the players that have been here all season long. And then the idea of maybe taking a look at a young player who's just come up.
Desmond Jennings pops up to Overbay to end the 9th inning. Percy has 2 strikeouts. Blue Jays will bat in the bottom of the 9th. The 9th inning, his 11th appearance of the season.
This is his third stint with the Rays this season. He actually made the team out of spring training, was sent down early this year, right at the end of April. For the most part, he pitched down in Durham. Made just one start. He's been a bullpen guy. 6-1, 1 save with a 173 earned run average in the minor leagues. There were his big league numbers. Ekstrom will try to finish this one off.
Adam Lind will lead things off bottom of the ninth inning. Lind's 0 for 2 with the walk. Bends back from an inside strike. Wade Davis in line for his 12th win. Ricky Romero will take his 8th loss. Ninth loss. He'll end up at 12-9. Ekstrom ahead, 0-2. Breaking ball missed inside. Tomorrow's season finale between these two clubs, it'll be Jeff Neiman against Sean Markham. Neiman trying to right the ship. Sharply hit 2 hops to the second baseman. If the playoffs were to begin today, here's the matchup. American League, it'll be the Texas Rangers against the New York Yankees, and that history favors the Yankees dramatically. Tampa Bay would take on the Twins. In the National League, it's a toss-up now. San Diego's tied with the Giants, but the Phillies have been red hot, and the Braves are hanging on.
Giants tied the Padres yesterday. You always have to look at home field advantage. In the American League, the Yankees right now have the best record, so they would host everything as long as they stay alive. In the National League, in the American League, in the National League, that looks like Philadelphia right now.
Phillies just 3 games over 500 on the road for the season, 35-32, but they're dominant at home. A liner into center. Osmond Jennings hasn't played perfectly. Aaron Sebia hit it home.
With this win today, Tampa Bay guarantees them a winning record against the Blue Jays this year. A lot better effort this year by the Blue Jays versus Tampa as we head into that last game versus Joe Maddon's team tomorrow. The Rays holding a 10-7 edge after today's game.
Travis Snyder pops it back out of play.
They have really had the Blue Jays numbers since 2007. This win today versus Toronto will put them 20 games over 500 versus the Blue Jays since 07. And they have won different ways. They've won on comebacks and walk-offs, blowouts, one-run games.
Snyder golfs it into right center. Look at the speed of Jennings. Wow. You can see why they're excited about their young outfielder. Mike Ekstrom has a 1-2-3 ninth inning. It was all Tampa Bay. 13 runs on 10 hits. They win the first 2 games. Brad Hopp with his grand slam home run, the difference. We'll be here tomorrow afternoon. Stay tuned. Right now, connected.